Just focus on loving people. That's why when they passed, there was a sense that there was a loss. I don't know. I think for the most part, they would just say that I'm a people person. I hear my son say that a lot, even when he's on the phone. He's like, "Oh, my dad was there. He would have explained himself. He would have explained that. My dad is better at saying, articulating things. You know." The guy calls me, puts me in his car, and we go to McDonald's, and he tells me pick something from the menu. When he told me to pick something from the menu, I was trying to pick the cheeseburger. He's like, "Cheeseburger? Oh, I don't like that. Pick anything." I was like, "Pick anything?" I said, "Can I get a Big Mac, large fries, whatever drink?" He's like, yeah. And then the guy was still looking at me like, "Yeah, anything else?" I'm like, "What are you talking?" He's like, "Okay, let me get a double, let me get another one. I think I got a double pounder or another." He told me, "Yeah, you can get one and you can take home." Dude, I could have ordered the whole menu. So I ordered the Big Mac, large fries, and a drink. That's how I ended up in the military, man. Because of a Big Mac. There's not a corner on this world I haven't touched. The earth is nowhere I haven't gone. The only part I can see I've never really touched is the South Pole. Love, man. To love people. And my parents, the most important lesson I learned from my parents is love for the people. Substitute, whatever the word is. And my dad is a chief. It's almost a job like you really have to do voluntarily, more than just having a job, a chore. So you could tell he's a servant, man. Of course, I've shared about my mother, and that is something I hope at least I emulate in things that I do, because I feel. And then one thing I didn't know, obviously, when you're young, you're just observing. I thought they're just lucky. The people that come in their life, they are able to be loved. They are worthy of love. But then my parents kind of like shielded us from how bad people can be, human beings. So we just thought, these people that they're getting along with, they must be people that they. But then I come to realize, and this much later in my life, that I have to be patient with people, because people are different. And then I've been fortunate enough to get educated to understand, why am I struggling? Because why are people so mean? And I'm being nice to them. And I'm giving my all to them. Why are they paying me back with being, unreasonable? So that's what I learned. That's the biggest lesson from my parents. Like, just focus on loving people. That's why when they passed, there was a sense that there was a loss. So I don't live that I want people to miss me, but just to make sure you serve people. And that's what brings me joy. So that's the most important lesson. Yes, I have three. I have a 22-year-old guy named after my dad, Kirk Freddy, because my dad's name. Because you see, going back to the tradition, my kids are Kathigas, because that's my name. Gambiri is my dad's name. So I named him Kathiga, but I also put, because my dad's first name was Frederick. All these English names you have together, because now you're showing you're civilized. But it's where we just had one name. Traditionally, like my grandfather would just have one name. People would just have one name. And then when you are born, you are called Kome Wandambiri, Kadhiga Wandambiri, to associate you with that person. Then now you get initiated into manhood. Now you are Kathiga. And then other people, they can become Wakathiga and so on and so forth. So, I feel, what was the question? Sorry. Oh, children. Yeah. I digress for a second about talking about the names. But yeah, I have my son. My son is Kirk Kathiga. That's the name of my dad. I have a daughter who is turning 13 tomorrow. She's in Maryland. Leah Kathiga. That's my mom. And then Michelle. Instead of Mary, the mother decided, let's go with Michelle versus Mary, whatever. But, you can focus on things. And then I have a smaller one who is Zawadi. He is the glue between all of us, because it's just, a lockdown baby. So I have three babies, two boys and one girl. Yeah. So my children, I have three children, and the naming, uh, the firstborn for a guy is intended to be your dad. If it's a girl, your mom, right? Then obviously the second one, if you have two boys, now it's gonna be the moms because the second, whatever, so on and so forth. In my case, I got lucky in the order because I got a boy and a girl. So my son is my dad. I even call him. That's why I call him daddy. People are like, "Why do you call your son dad?" Even now that he is older, he has to put up with it. I'm like, I don't care. Maybe when it was little, it was cute, and you're like, "Oh yes," but now this is, oh, don't call me daddy because people have different connotations. But it's my dad, then my mom. So when I came to the US, I did all the paperwork for the green card. It had Benson, Kathiga, and Thamberi. I was like, I'm not gonna go back and erase all that and take all that out. And then I joined the military and everything. And then I'm going by my last name. So let's just call it laziness, because it's not impossible to change names, right? Then I had children. So because they are American, I wanted them to really obviously follow that tradition, my dad, my mom, but I'm Kathiga. So my children need to be Kathiga. My wife, at that time, I'm divorced, but she was Mrs. Kathiga. Kirk Kathiga. But now I want him to have my dad's name. So my dad's name was Frederick. So I instead of saying Kirk Frederick Kathiga, I just called him Freddie. So he's just straight up Freddie. And then my daughter was going to be named Mary because it's English. More because she is in the US. Maybe it would have turned out differently in Kenya. But then she's Kathiga. So, but I just wanted my name to really be loud because I'm not called Kathiga. I'm still called my dad. So in a way, being called Thamberi is kind of like I'm minimizing my status because I've already gone through the initiation process. I'm already my own man. I should not be called Thamberi. But that's what I'm known as in America. So that's why I'm Thamberi, they are Kathigas. And then I throw in the English names in there because if I threw too many African names, they may end up dropping it. So I just wanted Kathiga to be prominent. You know what I mean? So they don't get lost, but then now they have a sense. And they understand because I talk to them about it. And then Zawadi, he's just an anomaly, man. He was just named Zawadi, nothing related to anything. Zawadi means gifts. And that's my little guy. My son, my oldest, his mother is Luo, Luya. So I hear him say some Luya words or some Luo words, and then it's very hard. And then I never really when I was in active duty, I really was not around a lot to be able to enforce to instill that. My daughter's mother is from Haiti, so she speaks Creole, French, but that's because her mother, actually, she was for her first 3 years she was in Haiti. She was born and then went to Haiti, and she speaks Creole. So at least that she has that. But teaching them Kiembu, Swahili, they're interested, but they play around too much, man. They cannot use it to communicate. So it's just whatever sticks. Hopefully it will happen in the future. How I bridge the gap between the Kenyan heritage and the American? It's just talking to them, like explaining to them what their name means, explaining to them where they are from. And I think that's important for anybody, but most importantly for me. And then I also want them to continue the legacy of my mom, like we talked earlier about the lessons I got from my parents, just to be kind. So I feel in America, you can be kind here, but I want you to know you are home, right? And the way to really appreciate your home is for you to be part of it. So tell them why I act the way I do, the things that I do, the way I make people out there a priority. I put them in my priorities. Because some people would they move to the US. I'm done with that. I've washed my hands. No. I feel I need to plant my toes in the soil, in Kaogo, in Ronyenjes, in Kieni. I don't know. I think for the most part, they would just say that I'm a people person. I hear my son say that a lot anyway. Even when he's on the phone, he's like, "Oh, if my dad was there, he would have explained himself. He would have explained that. My dad is better at saying, articulating things. You know, I don't know. I don't remember sitting him down and telling him, "Hey, I'm very articulate. I'm very talkative, or I want to be selling people things. I don't even like sales, but people tell me I should be a salesman. But I'm like, no, I feel like sales, if somebody's not buying something, it's not good anyway, right? So just make something good and it'll sell itself. But for the most part, I just like people. I like interacting with people. So I'm hoping that is what they're going to learn from me. I'm in human resources. I didn't pick human resources because it was the easiest or the most obvious. I really had to look for it and found it. And then I'm in employee relations, which is basically the human behavior, the employee behavior. So, and I feel all my kids have that, even the littlest one. They really, if my son comes here, the first thing he wants is to come and say hello to you. If he has something, he wants to share it with you. If something is happening, he wants to go and figure out why it's happening like that. Yeah. So I feel they'll have that. And I try to tell them, don't fight it. Because I know a lot of people are not like that. A lot of people are not very outgoing, especially with strangers. So I tell them, I want to maintain it so that they don't discover later. You can follow that instinct and make something out of it, and it become a career. Because a lot of times you're told to suppress. Ben, you're so loud. If I'm somewhere and people are not supposed to be making noise, I'll be the first one to get in trouble because I'm going to start talking. So I want them to understand it's not a bad thing. Just make sure you channel it in a way that you are not disrespecting people, pushing people off, causing resentment. I want you to understand that that is something that is natural to you, and you can hone it to where it can become your career, and that way you don't feel like you're working. That's what makes you enjoy your life more. San Diego, very easy, man. Military. They brought me here, and it was the first place that I felt the weather is very similar to the weather of where I grew up. There's no humidity. Summer times are not like oven hot. We don't have winters here. We just have winter in name. We don't have snow. We don't have, when it's cold over here, it's the same cold we have over there. It's not like nothing is freezing. And when we have it, it's just temporary. You could be freezing in the morning to the point where you have to scrape your windshield in the morning. And by 10, people are in bikinis. And I find it easier to move around here too. So that's what made me stick in San Diego. And when I got out, I was determined, when I get out, I'm going to stay here. And it worked out. I believe in karma. You do good things that you want are going to come to you. It happened so naturally. I didn't have to force it. I didn't have to move from anywhere else. The house that I was in is the house that I lived in when I got out. Obviously I've moved on to other things, but yeah, because I was stationed here. I was stationed in San Diego the longest. I was actually trying to fight it because that's not a good thing when the military is staying in one place for so long. But I would leave, come back, leave, come back. Yeah. So San Diego, I love it. And you're close to the beaches, you can hear birds or whatever is happening over there. Man, circumstances. Because like I said, in Kenya, I was in the military. I was in the military. People laugh when they say, "Oh, NYS is not the military." But I'm telling you, that is the hard. If you go to NYS, you are trained tougher than a guy who is going in the army. Short of having a rifle every day, because they give you the spade to show you Najenga inch, you're building the country. But the crap they put you through over there, especially boot camp, man, you don't graduate nothing until the president show. Anyway, so when I got my green card, I was still in the NYS, the lottery. I got my green card through the diversity visa, filled the form, when you could just walk in the embassy, pick it up and fill it out, before they blew it up and before all this terrorist stuff happened. All right. That was back in 1997, 96. Yeah, actually, I came in 97, so it was around 95. That's when I picked it up, filled it up, and boom, it went up. But anyway, when I joined, I got the green card, which I almost didn't take. Speaking of, I like to be with my friends. Filled it up with other people, and people didn't get it. I was feeling like, man, I don't want to come. I'm leaving these people behind. Because when you leave, I thought when I leave, I've left, and I've cut ties. I appreciate friendships. But anyway, I came over here. When I came here, I said, I will never do anything with the military. But of course, America is different from Kenya. I was in New York. I was hustling. Life was punching me in the face. Then this army, the recruiters kept being in my face. The army, 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 army. One day, I was just sitting down, going through all the things I was going through, transitioning within a year or two of being here. And I saw a commercial. We'll pay for your travel. We'll pay for your house. We'll pay for your school. I'm over there trying to do school, trying to work, trying to establish. I'm like, there's somebody who's going to pay for this crap. And it's the military. I've done this crap before. So I decided, let me just walk in the recruiter's office. When I walk in the army office, these guys didn't acknowledge me, right? Over there in New York, Long Island, right? Hempstead. And they're like, Army Dean. I'm like, screw you guys. I'm like, I'm right. I don't want to join this crap. So when I was walking out, the recruiting offices, they're in one place. Like the way the offices are set up over here. So when I was walking out, a Marine guy, a recruiter, hey, what's up, man? Are you looking to join the Marine Corps? I'm like, what the hell is the Marine Corps? First of all, Marines, with my English, I'm thinking Marines is about fish and stuff. I don't want to do that fish stuff. They're like, come over here. And then I walked in the office. When I walked in the office, everybody in the office was like, hey, what's up? I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then they called, there was a black guy who is, now I didn't know, but now I know he's Puerto Rican. His name was Hernandez. So, called it racist. But the guy who was a white guy, when he brought me in, he was the station commander, and he brought me in. He said, Hernandez, hey, your guy is here. I don't know if they mistook me for somebody else or whatever. I was hungry as hell, right? So Hernandez was in the back of the office changing. He had come from somewhere. I know what was happening, but that day I didn't know. Look, since I've been in and I was a recruiter too eventually. So the guy was in the back. He was changing his clothes. Like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, sit down. Let me just get on my uniform. I will talk to you. He's like, hey, what's up, man? Your name is, yeah. And we talk now. And he's like, hey, okay. What are you looking for? I said, man, I'm just looking, whatever story I give him. Like, I was about to go get some food. Let's go. We're going to go get some food while we are talking. That time, McDonald's had a $5 meal. It was 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and I think a drink, right? So the guy calls me, puts me in his car, and we go to McDonald's, and he tells me pick something from the menu. When he told me to pick something from the menu, I was trying to pick the cheeseburger. He's like, cheeseburger? Well, I don't like that crap. Pick anything. I was like, pick anything? I said, can I get a Big Mac, large fries, whatever drink? He's like, yeah. And then the guy was still looking at me like, yeah, anything else? I'm like, what are you talking? He's like, okay, let me get a double, let me get another one. I think I got a double pounder or another. He told me, yeah, you can get one and you can take home. Dude, I could have ordered the whole menu. So I ordered the Big Mac, large fries, and a drink. And that's how I ended up in the military, man. Because of a Big Mac. So after that, I don't know how he got me in. I just know I went and aced the test just like they were back in the day when I did. He took me into the test, the ASVAB. One day he just come and grab me because I told him where I work. Obviously, he took my information. You know, he did his thing, right? He took my information. One day he just called me and said, hey, wait, when do you go for lunch? He came pick me up from work. I'm thinking I'm going to go get another Big Mac. He took me to MEPS, the military processing station. That's where they do everything, to do your fingerprints, to do your medical. But now this one is kind of like a test. So he took me there. I wasn't prepared. I aced the test. When I aced it, the guy was like, I'm definitely putting you in. So within 3 months, man, I was in boot camp. And that's how I became a Marine. And then went to boot camp. I'm the only guy I've known for the entire time in the Marine Corps. I even got fat in boot camp. Because to me, I'd suffered through NYS. I joined the Marine Corps, especially when I heard it was the hardest branch. I was like, this is the one I want, right? I joined, went to boot camp. Bro, I was feeling I'm living like 3 meals. Breakfast is there. You know, you have a calendar for the entire 3 months, 13 weeks. You have the schedule. Nobody's beating you, you know. Even when people hit you, they're like, is that it? You know, and it's just for training. It's not like they're beating you like they used to get beat up in RS. Dude, I grew fat over there. I gained weight, but I also muscle because, man, we were running nonstop. That's why I started running. I never used to run. Even in school, I used to be, I'm not running, I'm not Kalenjin, I don't run just because I'm, and then people say, you are Kenyan, man, you can run. By the time I graduated, I was the best runner. And for most of my career, actually, I can say all of it, especially my age group, I was always the fastest guy because our fitness test included running 3 miles. I was always the fastest guy. I ran 4 marathons when I was in the Marine Corps, official ones, because I ran so many in between. I ran 4 marathons when I was in there. Didn't win, but I definitely finished the Marine Corps. The others are garbage. The Marine Corps is the best. If you know any other branch, we support everybody. The Marine Corps. To me, the Marine Corps is the best. The Marine Corps brings out your character. You can never get lost in the Marine Corps. Everybody goes to boot camp, they get broken down, and they're all the same. At least for that time you're in there, That's why you can either be very, very, very bad or very, very good, but at least you're doing it as a unit. Esprit de corps, man. The most valuable thing in the military is don't forget yourself. I don't know if somebody would expect me to do something, but don't forget yourself. Because look at me. That time still ended. But there's some people that get so in there, you would think they would die as military people, as active military members, as active Marines, active soldiers, active airmen, seamen, whatever, Coast Guard men, whatever they call themselves. So just remember, you're still somebody who has a life. And fortunately for the American military, at least I can speak for the American military, for the Marine Corps and the Navy, because we are Department of the Navy, you can have a civilian life, especially if you have a family, which I encourage anybody to do when you are there, because that's the best opportunity. The military will hold you, will help you support that while you're doing your own thing. But it's when you're a civilian, you're kind of like the one carrying the whole load. Just remember that if I would do it again, that's the only thing I would change, because I gave my everything. So when it was time to leave, it's like I couldn't believe it. I was leaving feeling like, again, I have this thing where I feel like I'm abandoning my unit. But dude, the day I left, even the day before I left, my chair was already not even there. It was already gone. It's like burned and trashed. We don't need that chair. This is the next guy. You see what I'm saying? Now, if I had lived and being able to realize that I am a number, do my best. My daughter keeps calling me because her birthday thing, but still do my job. I think I would have come out better than I did. Although I have no regrets, man. It taught me a lot of experiences. There's not a corner on this world I haven't touched. The earth is nowhere I haven't gone. The only part I can see I've never really touched is the South Pole. But anything outside of that, anywhere, I've been there. Every culture, it's a melting pot. That's why I wish every young person, especially Kenyans, especially those immigrants that come here young, if you're under 29, if you're under 30, join the military. That is the best crash course for the American culture. Because wherever you are, you're going to be mixed with people from everywhere. And these people have no inhibitions because you are all going through the same stuff. So you're going to learn everything. It helps you assimilate faster. It helps you become American faster, if there's such a thing. Because when you come here, you're different. So you have to adopt. And then when you become a veteran, I feel you're in a different class, When I'm walking around and somebody's never served and I've served, whether we went through we had the same timeline, you're going to find that if you're a veteran, you're a different class of a citizen, which I believe is a good thing. Absolutely. My son right now, the only reason he hasn't joined is because he doesn't want to. Not because he doesn't know about it. But I'm telling him, man, you better not be one of those guys when you're 30, you start whining about you wish you had joined when you're younger. The other day I was just talking to him. If you had joined when I told you right out of high school, now you'd have already done your first enlistment and be getting out or stay if you had liked it. Now you're here, still in college or still doing college. You haven't finished. You don't even have your bachelor's. The job that you have is a job that could go away in a time, But me, My life is set. Right now, I'm sitting over here. I'm a retired guy right now as I'm talking to you. You know, I think the military is one of the few places, if not the only place, that's under 30, you can say you're retired. Or under 40, I should say. You can say you're retired, fully retired. And then whatever you do from there, you know. So, and then you get supported everywhere else because veterans are taken care of. The minimum you can join is 17. So you add 20 years, 37. My daughter, man, if I pick up my daughter's call, it will never end because I'm gonna have to tell her I'm in the middle of. She's probably telling me she's at the dinner or something.
Hi, Dad.
Hey, mommy.
So we're going to Urban Air, and like that's the final decision.
Urban Air. What does that mean?
It's like a trampoline park.
Where are you right now?
I'm at a friend's house. Well, it's family.
Okay. I'll call you later. I'm in the middle of something.
Okay.
All right, mama. Love you. Excited?
I am excited. My birthday's tomorrow.
Yeah. What is it? How much is it going to cost?
Just for me?
I don't know.
No.
You're the one who's supposed to tell me how much it's going to cost.
Okay, I'll switch it up.
Yeah, let me know. So when are you going? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, mama. We'll talk later, okay?
Okay,
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. My culture roots are easy, man. Staying in touch. Nothing better could have happened for us who are like me because like I have a company, Bonsons. I run this company from here in San Diego and it's in Kenya, in the village where I grew up, literally. And connection with people. Before I came to the US, I already knew people that were in the US. And the only way you knew they're in the US was somebody would talk about it, but you never heard from them. And then when they would call the landline, and having a landline, especially in the village, that was a luxury. Well, my dad, fortunately, he's a guy who, was a chief, whatever, so he can try to make sure that he has an office where there's a phone for the community. But then that means we can use it too. My sister would set up an appointment like months out. Like right now, it would be like in June 10th, my sister is going to call. And would be sitting over there waiting for the phone to ring. And sometimes it wouldn't ring. So maybe she got caught up over here or it didn't connect. Because you have bad connections. Now imagine when it was a landline. And then when they would ring, we would all be there, because there's no speaker. Hey, how you doing? And then you would wait for like 5 seconds for it to come back. And then she would be like, oh my God, that's you, man. Yeah. By the time she's excited, it's me. Now is my brother's name is Karaoke. He's the one, it's Karaoke. So like 3 minutes of just chaos. And then you're excited. Oh, have you heard? I feel like she was here. So to stay connected for anybody right now in 2025 or in the new millennium, in the new century, that person is what do you call it? They're alive. It's a choice. Yeah. And to get back there is much easier. Traveling is much easier to get there now. It's not like back in the day when there's only one flight every month or something. But yeah.